Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Sword Talks. This one's going to be a little bit different as Chris is not going to be here, so I will be both running background tech and also semi-hosting, I guess. But we're still intending to have a fun time today. We're going to be talking about some injuries that we've taken both in the shop and in our Renaissance acting kind of work as well. So without further ado, let me bring on Josh and Chet. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello.
So yeah, not much is different than what we normally do. The only difference is that we don't have Chris to overwatch us.
Keep reins on us. Yeah.
Right. So even odds, this is either going to be the worst episode we've ever done or the most hilarious episode we've ever done. I would like to think that we're going to be the most hilarious episode, personally. But with all that said, I guess, like usual, let's start with what we're drinking. Since I'm doing this thing, I'll start. So I'm starting simple. I'm just doing a whiskey sour. I found a lot of great sugar-free options for getting drunk, and it's made my life bearable again.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to put a small child to bed in a little bit, so I am drinking Dr. Pepper Zero because I'm back on that keto diet. So, there we go.
That's why I've been finding all these sugar-free stuff, Chet. I'll send you some of the ones that I have.
Oh, nice.
I am drinking Pocari Sweat. It's mostly in Korean. I have no idea what it is.
It's cyanide water, we decided.
Salty and sweet. I think it's 3/4 to gorilla semen. It's like not. They see it's not quite clear. It's translucent. That's the clues I have about that.
That's what they collect after the community bath.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's delicious and non-alcoholic because I have to go to the gym after this, and I don't want to be drunk at the gym, or maybe I do. Like we were talking about, like maybe getting drunk and then like trying to like curl weights is just
the drunker you are, the lighter the weights are, really.
Yeah. Or maybe you just wake up out of a delirium and you're actually at Walmart fighting the hobo king for the right to be the strongest. And you're in an aisle of a Walmart, just like lifting their free weights while they're trying to poke you out with a broom. That could be.
Gosh, that sounds exactly like something I experienced in high school. Were you that guy?
I don't want to talk about it. Never use mine.
It was a dark time. As far as finding us, again, like always, you can find me on the Sterling Armory Facebook page. You can shoot us a message if you want me to talk to me directly. You can always just ask for me. Chet, where people can find you.
Yep, you can find me on Facebook at Tribal Fox Creations. We got a lot of Viking blades coming out in the next couple weeks here, so super excited to get some of those progress photos up and show everyone. But once again, that's Tribal Fox Creations, or you can message me at chat@sterlingarmory.com as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Josh Warbear. You can find me on Instagram at warbear_armory, or go to Facebook and search Joshua Von Warbear, and I will pop out on either one of those social media sites.
Nice. Yeah, and depending on when this comes out, Josh, I think there's a show you guys are going to soon, right?
Yes. The one in Salt Lake, the Salt Lake Open.
Yeah, there's going to be that Salt Lake Open Zahima competition.
Yes.
So Josh and Chris will be there.
Nice.
Allegedly, Chris might not be there. Chris confided in us last night on the show, and I guess that's not confided since it was very publicly cast, that he has a wedding to go to in Nebraska, which is suspicious if you ask me.
Nebraska?
No one's ever been married in Nebraska.
Nobody lives in Nebraska. What's in Nebraska?
Great destination wedding in a cornfield.
Omaha,
Yeah, right.
Which sounds like a made-up word.
It sounds like a beach I know of.
He might not be there. I'll be there just because it's like 30 minutes north. So
Chris doesn't want to defend his championship. He's already afraid someone's going to take it away from him.
Hey, one gold in retirement. That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah. Quit while you're ahead. Yeah, before the house wins. If nobody
wants to lose
to
in
Vegas,
casual sword
you cash out, go to your room, and watch cartoons the rest of the vacation.
Exactly.
Take no chances.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Either
after
that or
that,
NASA's laser doesn't have coverage here in Salt Lake, so he won't be able to cheat.
that's honestly more likely the answer, frankly.
That handsome sack of rats.
He typed a
calling
little
in
laser
space
guider
lasers.
on his chin. It was hidden.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This sword is just like marked with some kind of fluorescent NASA tape that guides the beam. That's why a lot of those windows started falling out in Vegas while we were there. Zapping through the roof of the flamingo.
That makes sense. So then, yeah, after that, I think there's nothing else till Sarasota, right?
Sarasota's in November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarasota, November, and then right after that there's a cutting competition in Phoenix, and then there's SoCal in Southern California.
Right, and yeah, we're going to try to get to as many as we can. I know I'll be at Sarasota at least for a couple weeks with Chris. Chris definitely.
I'm going to try.
That one.
I'll be at Sarasota.
I miss my friends. I want to come hang out with all my friends.
Oh man, that'd be great if we all can get over there at the same time. Chet, are you
The
performing?
reunion. No.
Yeah.
I don't get to. Okay, so like I'm gonna air this. So like,
Dish girl.
you can't perform if you have to miss a weekend or a show,
Right.
which is fair, and I understand that. But every single time that Sarasota does a Viking show, I am unable to perform. Last time it's because I had a brand new baby. This time we worked around a brand new baby. But my sister is getting married in November, which means I have to miss a weekend in November, and they won't let me fight. So once again, I am missing another Viking years. I have been performing for 16 years. I have never gotten to do a Viking show. And So I'm making a bunch of Viking swords out of frustration. That's what's happening.
That's the way to do it. You get back to them by just
I'll show you guys by them.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, so like, for everyone watching, hopefully this comes out before the one Josh is going to soon. If not, you'll see us at all those other shows. Theoretically, we'll post links to all of those shows down in the comments below, or in the description below, I mean. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see people out there for sure. So with that said, I guess we just roll right into the topic today. And like I brought up earlier, today we're going to talk about injuries that we've suffered, either working in the shop or doing the shows that we do. We're going to post a content warning, but it is just a kind of a vocal content warning. These are injuries that we've suffered. They are some that are open wounds. There's a little bit of blood, not a lot, nothing too gruesome, honest truth. But for those who are a little squeamish, this may not be the episode for you. So with all that said, I said we roll right into it. I think, Chet, we got you up first, so let me bring everything up for you. So again, as I said, content warning, following pictures may contain scenes of injuries which contain blood and bodily harm. Viewer discretion advised. So at this point, if you're still watching, either you're an idiot or you like this stuff.
I think the first one's assured. All right. So I have two examples here. So mine both come from fights. I have been very, very lucky in the shop, and I often knock on wood when I'm in my shop because I've never taken a serious injury in the shop. Like I've gotten some burns, but I have never torn myself open. I think the worst thing I ever got once was I was standing on the wrong side of a piece of wood when it kicked back and got me in the stomach. But it was a small piece of wood, so it really kind of just grazed off. It did not,
thank God you weren't a Dracula.
I might have been done in. So
yeah.
One and done.
The first one I'm going to talk about is the image on the right. That's me in my wonderful fop doublet. And you can't really see it, but that knee that's kind of hovering in the top left of that photo is our good old host buddy up top, Thomas. Me and him were in the final fight.
I played the fifth.
We were in the final fight of 2015 at the Tampa Bay Area Renaissance Festival, and I had refused to yield, so Thomas saw to it that I was going to yield. Well, this is the image of the exact moment where I have no recollection of the fight because he got me with a knee full square in the temple. And
only once.
Yeah, only once. Only the one time. And I just remember being on the ground, and all of a sudden someone's shaking me, get up. You good? Are you good? And I'm just Yeah, hey, yeah.
Yeah, who are you?
I just stood up, and the best part about that day was one of my friends from another cast up further north in Florida, at show I used to do for years, was down there like, "Wow, that was a great finale knee." It was just like, "Oh, I've never seen a knee that good." And I'm like, "You,
So
you bet you
real.
haven't." Yes,
As
so
like
real.
your ear bleeds a little bit while you're talking to them.
I start to roll back in your head. Yeah, no,
I'm sleeping.
I definitely owed you a drink on that one.
So that's the first one. It's not terrible. It's not as sword related, other than it happened during a sword fight. The next one is definitely sword related, especially kind of circles around because the sword that stabbed me is a Chris Field sword. But this is an old one. This is from 2009, so it's a super old sword. I've had it for years, and I was letting this guy borrow it during the melee, so he stabbed me with my own sword. So this is a melee. It's 40 people. I'm the general leading this charge into combat. My king has just been stabbed in the chest, so now I'm, in the middle of a field. There's like fires going. Great fight. And the first guy just comes running up to me, and I watch as he kind of like trips forward. And as I go to block his sword, he pulls back because he's tripping and then keeps going forward and just stabs me right in the thigh. So move one of this melee. Ah! And there's video of it from a distance. You just see me kind of look down, yell at him, and just grab him by the head and like knee him off of me. And as you watch that video, I'm wandering around this field, and mind you, thankfully I'm wearing a big piece of like 6-ounce thick leather, a big old like full body jerkin. It went through that. It went through the pants I was wearing. I still have that pair of whatever they're called.
Pants?
What are they called?
Pantalones.
No, not pantalones. Shut up.
Tassets?
What nurses wear?
Pantaloons.
Scrubs. I wear scrub pants
Oh,
when I fight a lot of times because you can make them nice and baggy.
Pants, got it.
They see pants, so they've still got the stab wound in there. Like you can see it in those pants. And in
the
that
way the stab wound looks and the way you screamed and kind of it made me think of just like Ace Ventura 2 where he gets nailed in the thigh.
It was basically it because it was just straight up.
It's just you. Yeah.
Oh, grabbed his helmet and just kneed him and threw him away. But like, what made this worse was I was leading this charge. So you see throughout the footage of me, I'm just like hobbling around, like looking down on my thigh, like, oh God, all right, keep going. I'm like, I get a guy to bring in a torch and throw it into this castle that we set on fire, and then I go rushing into this castle I set on fire, limping the entire way, and I come out carrying this like 100-pound guy over my shoulders, just walking over to the king who's down and throw him down on the ground, just like F5 style. And then I just kind of like take a knee and you see me. But then I have to escort him off the field. So I'm escorting him away, and I get him through this exit, which is a big old like castle front. And we get through. I'm out of the sight of the crowd. I throw the king, and I just fall down on the ground. I'm just like, and our friend Michelle Spears, she's got a bit of a background in helping with wounds, so she came rushing over and helped me out. She's like, "Ooh, you got your tetanus shot, right?" And I was like, "Tomorrow I will be." So that was.
I don't think it works in reverse.
Whatever. I didn't get tetanus. It worked out.
That's because Sterling Armory uses the finest in steel.
The finest 5160 steel. Will not carry that rust deep
turn a
into the
negative
wound.
to a positive.
I like the photo where you're getting kneed in the background. You see the woman that definitely knows you really got hit. She's just like,
oh yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Oh my God, that guy's dead.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So to this day, I've still got like a divot in my leg from where that one healed up.
Nice.
But those are the two worst injuries I've gotten doing show. I mean, I've broken some fingers over the years, but that stab wound was the worst, just because it was followed by like 5 straight minutes of continual performance, and I was just like, oh. In my entire head, I'm like, this is one of those moments you've always heard about. Don't you be a bitch. Don't you do this. You're gonna get through this. This is gonna be a great story years later.
Right.
But right now, it really sucks.
All the best stories suck in the moment.
Oh, absolutely. That's why they suck. That's why it makes some great stories later.
Yeah, you get to live through it.
Yeah. I mean,
that's me.
Yeah, no, like the first one there, it just comes with the territory when you're doing these kind of shows. Like, eventually it's going to happen. You're going to get hurt. It's just funny that here I am 7 years later, still chatting up with Chet. Like, clearly there's no bad blood. It just happens.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that day because I was like, I remember doing it. Like, I hit you with the knee, and the way I go through with it, I follow through. I put my foot down. I was just like, yeah, I got him on that one. Anyways, because like up to that point, I was like, man, this is a really good run. This is a great run. This is awesome. Wham!
Gonna give this the best finish ever. Bah!
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you a star.
I saw stars.
Yeah,
definitely like a kid that catches your tooth in the background.
Souvenirs.
Yeah.
All right, on to Josh. So this is the semi gruesome one.
If it's mine, it's got to be gross.
So.
Oh, so this is awesome. I'm a dumbass, and setting it up, I guess. I was on to like seating or hitting the grip on, and then seating the pommel on, and then doing a retention screw on a Hanway sharp, and I put it in, and I was just in a rush. I wasn't like looking where I was going, everything like that, and I locked it into the vise, and then I went to put some epoxy resin on it, and I slipped it down, and I didn't again rushing through, didn't see that there was like a 64th of space in between the grip and the steel. And I was like, oh, crap. So I went to peel some really quick, wood to shim it up. And then when I did, the wood dropped and I went, crap. So it's working with epoxy resin, so it's about to cure. And I'm like, damn it. And I reached down to grab it. And when you see a sword like from the side, it kind of vanishes a little bit out of your sight, especially with a nice distal taper on it. So I grabbed it and then like jerked back. When I jerked back, I stood up too fast, and the tip of the sword caught me in the middle finger, as you can see there, went out this other side and then into my other finger over there, just like this. And I could hear construction paper tearing. And that's what it sounds like when you stab someone. It sounds like construction paper ripping. Just, and I went, it felt obviously painful, but it happened so fast, and I went, ah, and just yelled and cursed, and then looked at it and just held on to it, and then wrapped up the grip because it's epoxy resin. I have to finish it really quick. So I shimmed it, hammered it down, put the pommel on there, knocked it down, put the retention screw, grabbed a little Allen key, tightened it up. And then I was just holding my fist, hoping like the pressure on my hand would keep it closed. I looked down, and there's just a puddle of blood on the tip of the sword, on the little ladder next to me on the floor. And I walk upstairs, and as I'm going, I'm leaving a trail of blood. I go upstairs, there's a trail of blood up the stairs. I go into the bedroom, into the bathroom, there's a trail of blood, and I'm just like, and I went to wash it under a sink, and when I did, I turned on the water too hard, and the water jet hit the first one, and it ballooned my finger up like full of water, and then fell out the other side. And I was like, God damn it. So
I'm not squeamish, but man,
I grabbed
I
dumped a bunch of hydrogen peroxide on it everywhere to foam it up, burn out the infection really quick. I taped it up really quick. I yelled at Tari, who was in the other room, and I was like, babe, I cut myself, and she was like, oh no, and looked, and my entire hand's just covered in blood, and she's like, oh my God, and then jumps up and she helps like do a band-aid, redress it, because I just did it really sloppily. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed now. And she's like,
I'm feeling awesome.
We should go to the hospital.
100% sounds like you.
Yeah, she was like, we should go to the hospital, and I was like, I'm gonna take a nap. And maybe I'll go tomorrow.
Gonna need to replenish some of this blood.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah, my body needs to make some more juice. And I'm getting really tired all of a sudden from the blood loss. So I go to bed, I wake up the next morning, and then I go to work. And then I take my lunch break off to go to the emergency room and be like, hey, does this need stitches? And they looked at it and they're like, it did. So
Oh my god.
it definitely did. But right now, you should not stitch it up and just leave it open so the infection, if it pusses, it can drain out. And they were looking at it like, how did you miss your flexor tendon that runs over the top of your finger? Like that right there should have cut your finger, your tendon. And I was like, just lucky, I guess, whatever. And I was a kind of a curiosity because a lot of people came back to see it. And they're like, we heard there was a guy with a sword wound. And they're like, that never happened. So I'm like, well, I'm from Florida. And they're like, oh, yeah.
That happens all the time then. Yeah. Get that.
So yeah, that was probably the bloodiest injury I've sustained making swords.
So just remember, much like with the sharpness of our blades and the lack of tetanus, we will finish your blade come blood or high water.
Right.
We will infuse the blood into the blade.
Yeah,
we
From the
are
get-go.
literal about the blood, sweat, and tears that we put
You get
into
the
our work.
sacrificial energy.
I think I charged like $75 to $90 more on top. And it sold like the next week at a fair, at a weekend event. They were like, money. Why is this sword more expensive than the similar sword? And I was like, that one put a hole in my fingers and it's got blood on it. And they're like, I'll take it. So,
I will say, let's silver lining this here. You're lucky that you put your hand up the sword and then didn't immediately panic and just slit your finger.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, oh my god, I can't.
I almost envisioned
pierce-resistant gloves at all times around sharp blades.
Or it just tag me down here and just go through Wolverine style. There's so many different ways it could have gotten worse. I got the lucky end of it at that one. And you can see this one. This is the next day after I cleaned it up because you can see the little white ridges where I've taken the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that was after a 24-hour period of just being sore. I couldn't bend my fingers well after
I wonder why.
Yeah.
I can't
even almost envision you doing it and just you getting the stab and just very Josh of you to be like, well, gotta get that epoxy.
Yeah. I was very angry and annoyed. As are most of my injuries, I'm just like, son of a bitch, I'm an idiot. Oh well.
Damn me. I did this to me.
How dare I do this to myself?
I got me. Damn, I'm good.
Damn it, I made me bleed my own blood.
Nobody.
Right.
Yeah, that was it. That was the best. That was one of the best ones.
I think the next one's yours too, Josh. So that's your really
bad
wound.
So the next one doesn't have any photographic proof. I didn't take a picture, so I've just photoshopped a crude dramatization. Hey, that's what it looks like.
It's really good though. That's the funny thing.
It's the little smiley face in the corner.
Yeah,
it looks like he has a toe thumb.
That's the sweaty pervert. It does look like I have toe thumb.
He went straight gorilla. Like that is a gorilla.
I did. Yeah, I already have 8 paws to begin with. So yeah. So in this one was another one of those stupid accidents. When I first started at Evermore, I didn't have, and the apartment I had at the time, or that little house I had, I didn't have a garage, so all my equipment went in there. And this was caused by the Grizzly G1015 1 horsepower belt sander. So it has the engine, the motor, and then it has the contact wheel on this side that goes up. We all know what Chris is, and then the buffing rod out to the side. Well, as I've learned from Chris over the years, you're usually not wearing a glove, or you're using just like a welder's glove that's just cloth kind of deal. So you'll stop the machine, and in order to change the belt out faster, you'll reach over and grab the buffing rod and slow it down with the friction of the skin of your hand, which is fine, or the welding glove, which has enough slick there that it does not grab. So, I've been doing it for years, and I've trained myself not to do it now. It was I think December or November or something like that, and I remember we were in like a Halloween or Christmas show, and I was like, cool, well, I'm going to go over and work on a project. So I went over to the warehouse to work on a project, and I started grinding out a piece of steel. And one of my friends and coworkers, Laura, she had found a shitty old Jar Jar Binks like pullover mask, and she had pulled it on and was just dancing in the background going, me so hasa open that, and just goofing off. And I was like, ha ha ha, you're so cute. And I had mechanic gloves on instead of regular because I couldn't find my other gloves. So I reached over and I grabbed the buffing rod of it with a mechanic gloves. And since it's a tacky pad, it grabbed and pulled my hand into the rotation of the so when it did, it pulled my hand in. So if this is the rod, it pulled my hand and just snapped my thumb like that over the top of it. So, and she was wearing the Jar Jar Binks mask, so it looked like I just scared the shit out of Jar Jar Binks because she didn't take the mask off right away. Because I grabbed the rod, looked at her, and then pulled my hand and it went like that, and then looked and I was like, oh, okay, whoo, that scared me. And she was like, pull the mask off. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then I did what I did in the photo. I just looked at my hand and my thumb was just off at an angle like that. And I was like, oh, that ain't natural. And I grabbed it, went and lined it back up. I was like, well, it looks better, but it's starting to hurt. We should probably go to the urgent care. And while I was working the urgent care, or while I was getting prepared, the manager of the shop, Logan, and David Powell and everybody were like, Warbear, you okay? And I'm like, look at it. It's goofy. And like Dave was about to throw up. He was like, oh my God, that's disgusting. He almost popped right there. And Logan took me into the urgent care. And I was like, I don't know if it's broken. It definitely hurts. I realigned it. Maybe it was just, popped. I don't know. And they're like, yeah, you definitely broke it right underneath the joint. You snapped it right off. So they ended up putting like a stent over the top of it and wrapping it like a popsicle. And then I went back to work, lifting fences and doing all that because I'm just a tough old country idiot. I'm like, cool, my hand's broken. Time to use my elbows to lift stuff, I guess. I don't know. And there's a picture on my Facebook where I had like an adventure time where Jake and Lady Rainicorn have children, and I had a plush toy of one of their kids that I put in my hand and then taped around it so I couldn't close my hand. And when I would sleep, the plush toy would just rest on the bed next to me, and I would walk around like that for like 3 months until my thumb.
Brilliant.
And still to this day, like my thumb, I can do that with that one, and that one there's just not that much range of motion. And then when I open doors that have the little top thumb mechanism, it's harder for me to open it with my left hand. It just doesn't have the same strength it used to. But yeah, I think that was like one or two. I've only broken like 2 bones in my entire life. That one and my pinky toe when I did a backflip out running up a wall in English class in high school.
I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in your friend with the Jar Jar mask that didn't just like pop out and just be like, "You also got a boo boo" or something.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah,
missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will
God.
say, in my long career of self injuries due to a lot of athletics, I will say fingers that are broken are some of my preferable on the list of things you can do. Like,
Yeah,
I'm an old
go.
school wrestler. Like, I broke all my fingers. I've broken all my toes at some point over the course of wrestling. But stabs, I don't like stabs. Stabs hurt. No one tells you that when you get stabbed, that there's going to be a real hard, dull pain at that stab site for a long time. Like, you think, like, it's going to be sharp. The sharp's not necessarily the worst part. Taking every step, and then all of a sudden, it's like someone's just like dead leg punching you every step. That's the hard part right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad because, like, honest truth is, like, I've been really lucky. Like, I think I've taken bumps and bruises, some pretty hard hits in fights. Like, I've been whacked with so many sticks to the head. I probably have been injured, and it's just the brain damage at this point. I don't know anymore. I think my favorite was most recently in the last show I did. I was fighting somebody who was new to choreographed fighting altogether. She was using a pretty heavy bow staff, and she was like constantly worried about hitting me in the face because the last hit was supposed to be like right across the chest, but like I was on a knee and she was standing upright, so and swinging one-handed. But she was always afraid of hitting me in the face. Last weekend, she nails me dead in the chin, like fucking hard as possible. I just get railed, and in my head, I go, "Fuck, I have to."
My teeth.
Yeah, well, I'm not even worried about my teeth. I'm like, I have things that I have to do still. Like this fight's not actually over, so like I have to like with like this like I get split open, everything. I think the scar healed, so whatever. But yeah, so like I get back into it, finish the fight, whatnot. After the show, I go up to her, I'm like, "Hey, I just want you to know I'm okay." And she's like, "What?" Didn't even realize she just nailed the hell out of me. I'm like, "All right, cool, we're good then."
Nothing. Never mind. I'm fine. I was just kidding.
No, we're good.
You
I
didn't
just
hurt
got all
me.
this blood on my chin because it's fun.
Pretty much. Like, yeah, but like I've never taken a serious injury. Like I've gotten my hand caught in the belt once or twice.
You better knock on some wood, son.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
like fucking knock on wood hard.
As
actually,
like
I am
a
pretty-
car comes through your wall and just knocks you off the screen.
I did forget there is one injury I took. So there was one show I did where somebody like threw a sword at me, and that wasn't fun. But I do have video of it, so I'll just show that real quick. That was supposed to go through my chest, not the back of my head.
That'll never get old. That's the best thing in my life.
So
It's gonna be a
dumb.
callback
I love
for
it.
I forgot it was coming. I was listening, and all of a sudden it cut to that, and I started crying. Oh, it was good. Well done. You know, even if we have 3 viewers and it's only us, and that happens, I'll still rewatch it just to see that happen.
1,000 times over. Absolutely.
Well
need to
played,
just
sir.
We need to recreate that scene. Is what
We need to
do now.
watch the movie on film and just Mystery Science Theater it.
Oh,
Oh, hell
100%. That'll
then-
definitely be a thing we do.
Yeah, and then
So
do
what
a
I'm
sword
hearing
talk
is that
about it.
we all go sleep at Chris's house, like a sleepover. We make a blanket for
In
it.
between
and then
Sarasota
watch
weekends.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to, man. Like every time I've been over to Chris's house, I don't think he has dogs. I think he has like shitty werewolves because every time I wake up, the greyhound's like opening a door and staring at me weird. Goes sleeps, comes back out of the door.
Did Chris ever tell you about the time he was watching somebody's big old pup? I forget the kind of breed it was, but I think it was like a Mastiff mix. This
Yeah,
dog, like as a pup, was like waist tall on me, and I'm like 6'4". I'm a pretty tall guy. This
Yeah,
6'4" black half Mastiff hound corners me in the guest bathroom at 3 a.m. when I wanted to take a piss. I literally like opened the door and it just. I'm like, fuck.
You just sleep in the bathroom.
I just
Close
like,
the door to the bathroom and lay down. Like, well,
I
you
thought
know.
about it. I'm like, am I going to be sleeping in the bathroom until the morning? And thankfully, like,
Taking
the
it
dog
not
was
bad.
barking a lot enough. Chris came out, I was like, oh shit. I was like, thank you. I'm going back to bed now.
yeah, man. Ever since that time that I walked in on his one of his greyhounds standing on hind legs and making a sandwich, I just feel uncomfortable over at his house now. Of course, that could have also been a fever dream I had on the acid.
No, it definitely happens. It happened plenty of times when
Yeah.
I was there.
That's what I think.
I just got used to it.
Yeah,
I see one of the cats is
yeah. Chris doesn't have greyhound rescues. He has a NASA experiment he fell in love with.
you rescued. You went to a
Yeah.
lab to rescue those. They ain't
I was like,
natural.
oh, cool. Those greyhounds, do they have opposable thumbs usually, or is that like? It was just like,
Special feature.
how do you think Chris gets
running
everything done
away.
so fast? He's got them trained on sword making.
yeah, seriously. Why aren't those things like delivering swords and grinding out daggers yet?
Because people would freak out, much like yourself with your cyanide water.
Oh man, I told you it's animal semen. Oh.
Get it right.
right. I forgot.
Get it right.
My bad.
I
He's
mean,
got an
it's a
image for a
different.
poll.
It's a different kind of death. You know,
Right. It's that slow death in the back of your mind.
the autopsy gets performed, and he pulls out his glasses. You're not going to believe what we just found in this guy.
No. I'm sure I'll believe it. He's from Florida.
He's got a weird smile after death. I think I'm going to have a crazy death. If I do, it's going to be an open casket. And if my head's turned completely around, they're not going to fix me. It's just going to be either you see my face and my back, or you just see my back of my head and my chest. And then you're going to have to go up to my casket to pay respects and just go, oh, why, man? Why didn't he fix it? Why didn't he close the casket? You know?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the episode. I mean, we got short and sweet.
Oh, are we gonna do an under an hour episode? People might watch the whole thing if it's only like 35 minutes long.
Under 45 minutes, man. We're racing.
Crazy.
Not Chris here to keep everyone entertained by constantly yammering.
I don't listen to him. What? I don't know what he's saying half the time. He speaks in math.
He talks some strange number things like topologies and all that stuff.
It's a type 18.
Welcome
All right,
home,
Highlander,
dearest.
chill.
Welcome home.
Gotta really sell it.
I caught him speaking in.
On the other side of my screen.
You know, he talks in his sleep, but it's all binary. Yeah. I'm gonna write down some of the weird shit he says. I swear he solves like mathematical puzzles. Huh?
Has she been fed?
Yes.
All right. Well, with that said, then, guys, I guess we'll do our outro and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Josh, if you want to take it away, give everyone a rundown of yourself.
Yeah, I'm Josh Warbear. You can find me on Instagram at Warbear_Armory, or search Joshua Von Warbear on Facebook and I'll pop up. Add me as a friend. Reach out, ask me questions if you need to know questions about swords, as long as it's not like a commission question. I don't do commissions anymore. You know, if you want to talk, if you're like, hey man, my girlfriend sucks or my boyfriend sucks, what do I do? I'll give you a heartfelt answer. I'll listen to your problem. But if you're like, hey, can you make a sword? And I'm like, probably not, man. I love that you want one. Wait till I make one that you like, and then you can buy it. That's it. That's me.
Yep. You can find me on Facebook at Tribal Fox Creations, or email chet@sterlingarmory.com.
Short and sweet.
No one checks their email. Do you actually check your email?
No,
Every once in a while.
Every time I host these things and like I have to do the tech work for it, I have to be like message Chris. I'm like, Chris, how the fuck do I get into this thing?
I quit giving mine out because I don't remember the password. Every time I go to change it, it's like it's too similar to your last password, and I'm like, what the hell is the rip?
My favorite is when you type the password and it's like, oh, this is the incorrect password. Change password. Your password can't be your old password.
Right? What's up? Yeah,
I love that. I love my work email has it like every 3 months you got to reset it.
Oh god.
But
yeah.
For whatever reason, you could just reset it to the old password, so I don't even know what the point is. It's just like,
that's genius.
Ours stopped doing that. I think ours stopped doing that. Like it's like once a year now that you have to change it, which I'm like, I can deal with that. Once a year is far preferable.
Yeah, it's like Skynet, where they were like, hey, we were like, whoa, we thought it was going to be Terminators and atom bombs, but in fact, they're like, we'll just drive them crazy with bullshit password resets, and eventually they'll get so mad they'll end themselves. That's what the whole end is going to be. That's Skynet's revenge.
For sure. Well, to finish this off, I'm Thomas. As far as finding me, you can find all of us through the Sterling Armory page. Shoot us a message. We all see those messages. Chris is the only one that answers, though. Yeah. We see him. We don't answer.
I don't answer anymore. Ever since I scared the shit out of myself trying to that one guy. I thought it was you guys, and y'all were posting a picture of like rapiers with fancy things, and I looked at him, and I had typed out, "I hate every single one of those," and I almost hit enter before I looked up, and I was like, "Whose name is that?" So I almost answered a customer trying to get in touch with swords with "I hate all of those," and then never responded back. So I don't answer them anymore. I thought it was us.
Leave it to Chris.
Yeah, I thought it was a group chat.
But the reality is, if you do want to get a hold of us, shoot us a message on the Sterling Armory page. Just let us know who you're trying to reach out to, and Chris will forward it to us because he's also part-time secretary when he's not taking over the world with NASA.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, reach out, comment on YouTube, comment on Facebook, comment on Instagram, whatever.
Subscribe, all those.
Tag us if you have questions, so we know what to see. Otherwise, you're just going to get a generalized answer from whoever is feeling froggy enough to pick up the keyboard and go, "Yeah, this one's mine.
My turn."
Yeah,
I'm taking this one.
Yeah.
Thank you for contacting Sterling Armory. What is a Katzbalger in your opinion? Like, and lead them down a rabbit hole, and they just,
All right, guys. Everyone, thank you for watching. And again, feel free to comment below with if you've had your own grizzly injuries. We won't read them probably because
I'm definitely going to read them.
Josh,
I want to hear.
Stuff.
Yeah, I want to hear. Send pictures. Yeah.
Don't send pictures.
Oh, of certain stuff. Don't send pictures of certain stuff.
Send them directly to Josh if you send pictures. Chris is going to open up the Facebook page.
Like,
guys.
I immediately regret what I just said. Should probably cut that out of this.
Chris is already going to regret letting the three of us run this without him around. But that's his problem, not ours.
Yeah. Good luck, Fields.
Everyone else, have a great time. We will talk to you in the next episode.
Later, guys. Have a good one.